Tuesday is a sign that we have somehow survived Monday. Happy Tuesday and thank you very much for choosing us. This is Africa Good Morning. My name is Aina Raizakoyo and this is Ashwin Berry.
It's wonderful to be here, rich and powerful. No, we're not talking about Jeff Bezos. We're talking about espresso because today is Espresso Day and it's a fantastic to the day and go-to for coffee drinkers who are looking for a way to get through those long, hard days and perhaps the nights too. A shot of espresso is a refinement of coffee distilled down to its most potent elements and delivering in special cups that should have a warning label that reads high vibration and caffeine jitters ahead. You know I love my espresso.
And you love your
we
espresso.
Don't play about that.
I don't do any caffeine.
All right, here's a video on Espresso Day.
It is the 23rd of November 2021 and here are the news making headlines. 4 Southern African presidents commemorate with children. 4 presidents of Botswana, Namibia, Zambia and Zimbabwe marked this year's World Children's Day at a unique cross-border event in the history of World Children's Day celebration with over 100 children at the Kazangula Bridge in Kansane, Botswana. The bridge, stretching nearly 1 kilometer across Zambezi River, connecting Botswana and Zambia, and the meeting point of the 4 nations, is one of the several landmarks across the eastern and southern Africa that was lit up blues in symbolic support of children around the world Children's Day that fall on the 20th of November every year. Ahead of the bridge turning blue, children participated in a discussion with their presidents about the issues that matter most to them, including climate change, gender equality, disability and inclusion, and access to education. President Masisi was joined by Dr. Hage Geingob, the President of the Republic of Namibia, Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, and Emmerson Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe. World Children's Day is a global day for action for children by children, marking the adoption of the UN Convention on Rights of Children on the 20th of November 1989.
It takes a village to raise a child. Now in our second story, Ramaphosa, SA's rape, GBV, child murder stats are shameful. In his weekly letter to South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa has slammed how short the country is falling in terms of how its women and children are treated. This is in light of the latest crime statistics released by police, which showed an increase in rape, domestic violence, and child murders. In his letter, he said, if a nation's character can be judged by how it treats women and children, then we are falling desperately short. A week before the launch of the annual 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children, the latest crime statistics released by the South African Police Service show an increase in rapes, domestic violence, and perhaps most worryingly, child murders. We have said before that the violence perpetrated by men against women is the second pandemic that our country must confront. And like the COVID-19 pandemic, it can be overcome if we all work together. It is not enough to intervene only once perpetrators have entered the criminal justice system. We have to prevent gender-based violence before it happens. I call on all South African men, young and old, city dwellers and rural dwellers, modernists and traditionalists, married and unmarried, to be part of the prevention efforts that are sorely needed in homes and in our communities. You will be sending a clear sign that neither kinship, friendship, nor loyalty can be an excuse for not standing up for the rights of women and children.
Moving on, UNICEF needs over $55 million for Mozambique. The United Nations Children Fund warned its latest situation report that it needs 55.7 million US dollar for its life-saving and life-sustaining work with children and their caregivers in Mozambique. The organization's 2021 Humanitarian Action for Children appeal was revised upwards in June to $96.5 million due to escalating needs, particularly in the northern province of Cabo Delgado, where Islamist terrorists have chased people from their homes, farms, and workplace. However, at the end of October, it had only received $27.5 million in funds from its donors, which together with $13.3 million carry forward leaves a 58% funding gap. Mozambique's government is already working to improve the situation for retainees. Speaking to the Mozambican Parliament, the Assembly of the Republic, at the end of October, Prime Minister Carlos Agostinho de Rosario pointed out that the reconstruction plan is underway in Cabo Delgado, which seeks fundamentally to guarantee the essential conditions for bringing life back to normal in the areas affected by terrorism.
In our next story, Kama's warrant for arrest. News reaching the Memege publication is that the Directorate of Intelligence and Security yesterday filed the application as they seek to arrest Kama while his attorneys are clueless about the happenings surrounding the application. Ramalepa attorneys, Kama's lawyers, said they are yet to have anything concrete regarding the application, except that they heard it has been scheduled. We have nothing as of now. We have been trying to get information, but to no avail. We cannot even access the file because we are given stories. Even the judge is not taking our calls. We know nothing. Even the time of hearing, we are clueless, said the lawyers. Kama's attorneys explained that the only information they have is that the DIS was asked yesterday by the judge to file additional papers, and they did schedule the hearing.
In our next story, Kinshasa hosts the work of the third session of DRC-Namibia Great Joint Commission. The Secretary General for International Cooperation and Regional Integration, Zachary Chimbada Bililo, opened the third session of the DRC-Namibia Great Joint Commission. The DRC and Namibia expects to explore new cooperation opportunities for the benefits of their respective populations. Following the second session of this Great Joint Commission held in Windhoek in 2011, exactly 10 years. And since then, the pace of implementation of recommendations formulated was slow, and in a few areas, hence the need for a rigorous evaluation. The Secretary General holding of this third session as an opportunity for the various experts to examine other cooperation projects, trade cooperation in the field of tourism, cooperation in the field of health, cooperation in the field of investment, maritime cooperation, cooperation in the field of fisheries, women's rights go through the sub-commission elected below: politics, diplomacy and governance, economy, finance and infrastructure, as well as social, cultural issues.
Now, this is a question I'm sure a lot of Africans would be interested in. Should corruption be upgraded to treason? Minister of Presidential Affairs, Governance and Public Administration, Kabo Moraeng, said corruption should be elevated to the legal status of treason. However, ordinary Botswana who are carrying the pain of higher taxes to support weaker government finances want more action than talk, especially as a new budget containing more bitter decisions is being finalized. Bitter decisions such as the rationalization of the civil service and parastatals, as well as introducing taxes on the digital economy are being considered. Finance Ministry technocrats told legislators that these measures, combined with spending reprioritization, including cuts, as well as expected higher revenues from mining and SACU, would help return the budget to surplus in 2023-2024. In addition, with more of the budget and project spending being funded by external financiers such as the World Bank, eyes outside Botswana are looking at the efficiency of expenditure and appearance of wastage and corruption.
Angola registered more than 1,000 deaths from road accidents. From January to September this year, Angola registered 8,950 road accidents, 1,936 more than in the previous year, which resulted in 1,845 deaths. The data were represented by the Vice President of the Republic, Bonito de Sousa, in his message on the occasion of the World Day in memory of road victims. We noted with considerable concern that the age group most affected by road accidents, in which pedestrian accidents and collisions stand out, are motorcycles and motor vehicle drivers between 10 and 47 years of age. They are citizens that still has a lot to contribute to the country's development, he said. We mark the 16th year since the institutionalization of this event by the UN. We must have the courage to assume that it is possible to do a little more and better.
CAFCO records more than 37 cases of killings of women known as witches. The Permanent Framework of Consultation of Congolese Women has recorded more than 37 cases of killings of women known as witches in some provinces of the country. CAFCO is determined to raise awareness through radio broadcasts as well as a series of workshops and meetings to eliminate this dangerous practice. A lot of efforts must be made so that this practice, which endangers Congolese women, disappears permanently. At the same time, all the perpetrators of these victims' justice must be pursued to bring them to justice. This situation has become alarming because it affects all the provinces of the country and deserves to draw the attention of the authorities and various civil society organizations in order to sound the alarm to put an end to this gender-based violence, the document concludes.
In our next story, help is on its way for those affected by Garden Route flooding. Humanitarian organization Gift of Givers said they are preparing a major intervention along the Garden Route where areas have been affected by heavy rains and flooding. Director Emmet Soliman said areas such as George, Udshun, Mossel Bay, Bitu, Kanaland, Hakesa and Kisa would receive assistance. Trucks carrying maize, food parcel, mattresses, hygiene packs, new clothing, blankets, sanitary pads, diapers, bottled water, plastic sheeting and pet food will arrive from Kimberley, Kebeha, Grafet, in Cape Town. The SAP Central Command has partnered us, giving us a total cooperation in every aspect. They will escort our vehicles into the affected areas. Suleiman said the SAP's Eden cluster base at Heatherlands would be utilized as a Gift of Givers logistics.
Water courses culminated with the signing of an agreement to establish a water course commission that will ensure the sharing of water courses between the three countries. Rivers to be managed under the agreement are the Ngwavuma, Lusutfu, Lomati, Komati, Crocodile and the Sable, all originating in South Africa and flowing through Eswatini to the Indian Ocean in Mozambique. Major water projects within this project include Maguga and Drikopi's dams and Lower Usutu smallholder irrigation project, the Foul Usutu Eskom hydropower generation plants, the Koromana Dam and the Pongola Port Dam. All right, that brings us to the end of our top stories. After the break, we're going to be talking about a foundation called the Heart Foundation because, you know, the heart is the foundation of all goodness in the world. This is Still Africa. Good morning. See you soon.
Season Season 1 of the Hunters Chill session is coming to a close. To celebrate Hunters and the Namibian Sun, we'll be having an exclusive invite-only event at Access Lounge on the 23rd of November. You can be part of this. Stand a chance to win exclusive double tickets for you and a friend to attend the Hunters Chill finale. WhatsApp a picture of you and your friend chilling with your favorite Hunters to 084 000 9820. Hunters, refreshes like nothing on earth. Not for persons under the age of 18. T's and C's apply.
The Heart Foundation Namibia is only 2 years old, but has managed to change people's lives. Founder and Chief Executive Zach Pienaar talks to Namibia Media Holdings' Yolanda Nell about the work the foundation carries out. Have a look.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This morning I'm speaking to Zach Pienaar from the Namibia Heart Foundation. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for being here. It's nice to have this interview with you.
Quickly tell us, when was the Namibia Heart Foundation started?
Well, Yolanda, we launched it end of August 2019. So it's still young.
It's still young because just after that we had COVID.
Yeah.
So quickly tell us, why is this foundation of such importance?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people suffering with heart diseases in the country and I believe in the world. And the importance thereof, you can summarize it by saying, therefore you get like an International Heart Day, like International Cancer Day. Yeah. So there's a lot of people, you know, suffering from heart attacks, suffering from this disease, you know, and said, but what can we do? As well, if we want to do something, we must start something official, like the Heart Foundation. And the idea is that, you know, anybody, if you suffer, if you get news now, there's something wrong with your heart, the immediately psychological effect and emotional effect is, I'm gonna die. You know, will I make it? You are immediately confronted with death. It's like cancer is the same. Am I gonna die? You know, what's gonna happen to me? And so we thought, you know, it's so important to give counseling to people and support them and walk the journey with them when they get the news. There's something wrong, there's some heart disease, there's something not well with my heart, you know, to be there for them and to talk to them and to take them with counseling through this and just guide them with it. And then, of course, when people go for operation, support them emotionally. When they come from the operation, support them, you know, do some debriefing sessions with them and just help them. So that's the one part. The second part is prevention is also better than cure. That's why we have this, this nice banner to say, how do you prevent heart attacks, you know? And some of us quit smoking, control your blood pressure and cholesterol levels, get regular medical checkups and exercise and eat right, you know, and manage your diabetes and control stress and all of that. Yeah, well, you can add a lot to that, but
it's very lifestyle related.
Yeah. So we said, well, we need to do preventative work so that people can change their lifestyles, you know, that people can, because there's stuff that you can do. Yeah. For instance, quit smoking. Exactly. Know that smoking is bad for your health, you know. Don't become so passive. Try to do some exercise, walk, cycling, swim, whatever you can do, you know. So we thought that the second category of the service of the Heart Foundation would be to do some preventative measures. And then the last, obviously, we trust that we will be blessed in what we are doing. People sometimes don't have money for this expensive operations. We don't say that the Heart Foundation, we hope so, but we don't say that the Heart Foundation can support patients in this regard, you know, 100%, but maybe in some way make a financial contribution. Yeah. Obviously, there will be procedures to follow, how to apply, but that is then the third one is to assist people financially with this heart disease, especially where medical funds and funding can't do it, especially people that don't even have medical funds to assist them in operations like this. And yes, that I would say is the basic reason why we then established the Namibian Heart Foundation.
You also have an event coming up on the 27th of November. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, and one of the main reasons for this event is to raise funds for the Namibian Heart Foundation. It's difficult to get funding.
Yes.
It's difficult to get funding, but one of the reasons is yes, to raise funds and to create awareness of the activities of the Namibian Heart Foundation, because it's important. It's a young organization. It's important that people in the country know of the existence of the Namibian Heart Foundation. Yeah,
but thank you so much, Ne. I will definitely be there and come and support you that day. Ladies and gentlemen, if your calendar isn't marked for the 27th of November, you know where to go.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Win instant cash this spring with Top Score Instant. To enter, buy any new pack of Top Score Instant 1 kg or 500 grams from any store countrywide and stand a chance to win one of 2 grand prizes of 20,000 Namibian dollars or one of 12 weekly prizes of 5,000 Namibian dollars. SMS Instant to 24442. Competition ends 30 November 2021. T's and C's apply. Top Score Instant, a proud product of Namib Mills.
Welcome back to Africa. Good morning. Now in Zimbabwe, they are about to phase out plastic carrier bags by December 2022. Talent Gore has this story and more. Good morning, Talent. The stage is yours.
Good morning, Aina. Good morning, Ashwin, and Africa. Good morning. So the Environmental Management Authority will from next year in December ban the use of plastic bags and is encouraging retailers to consider the use of non-plastic carrier bags. In a letter to the Retailers Association of Zimbabwe, Emma said that worldwide plastic waste had become a huge problem, hence the need to switch to environmentally friendly alternatives. So they suggested that plastic bags are set to be phased out by the end of December 2022. And they say that a number of countries have banned the use of plastic shopping bags in a bid to reduce amount of non-recyclable waste and save the environment. So they put an example of Kenya, whereby they say that in Kenya, anyone making, selling or importing plastic bags faces up to 4 years in jail, making it one of the world's toughest bans on plastic bags, blamed for clogging land, drainage systems, rivers, oceans, and killing birds and marine life. So Zimbabwe is about to phase out the use of plastic bags, and they had suggested that they should phase it by December 2022.
Hey, if we take care of Mother Nature, she will take care of us. Now, in your second story,
Definitely.
government to institute measures to record, and tell me if I'm right, $15 billion it is owed by clients in unpaid electricity bills. Could you please get into that?
So government has directed that the Zimbabwe Electricity Supply Authority to immediately institute measures to recover $15 Zimbabwean dollars.
All
It is
right.
owned by its clients in unpaid electricity bills. Well, that is in Zimbabwean dollars, not United States dollars. So under the directive, only paying customers should get power. So the Energy and Power Development Acting Minister said that all electricity consumers must be placed on smart meters to ensure that there is maximum revenue collection and ensure that the power utility can discharge its duties effectively and efficiently. So they are saying that everyone should have a meter in their houses. They don't want a system whereby you have to pay, you have to go to the Zimbabwe Electricity Supply Authority to pay for your bills, but rather they are saying that everyone should have a meter in their homes whereby when their electricity is done, they have to go and recharge it. So yeah, so they're saying that they want everyone to have a meter in their homes so that they can discharge their duties effectively and efficiently. So they want to make sure that everyone who owes the Zimbabwe Electricity Supply Holdings is paying their dues because they're saying that people or the Zimbabwe Electricity Supply Authority 15 billion Zimbabwean dollars. So they want to make sure that none of that happens in the future.
All right.
All right, Cuba expresses a readiness to revive its plans to establish a vaccine manufacturing plant in Zimbabwe.
Expressed readiness to establish a vaccine manufacturing plant in Zimbabwe. Well, this vaccine manufacturing plant was for vaccines for animals and also people, but they did not include a vaccine for COVID-19. It was just vaccines, normal vaccines. So they've said that they are now ready to revive their plans to establish vaccine manufacturing plant in Zimbabwe, which had been stalled due to COVID-19. So the Cuban ambassador to Zimbabwe
Look at the weather forecast. Now, the hashtag Justice for Animals campaign was relaunched in the previous Wednesday to address the injustices with regards to animal welfare and to urge government to amend the existing Animals Protection Act. The campaign kicked off with a workshop focusing on current legislation, case studies, and proposed new legislation presented by advocate Ronald Lewis. The Animal Protection Act dates back to 1962, and the Nature Conservation Ordinance dates back to 1975. The campaign will run for at least a year, the envisaged time frame for change to be affected. It will include newspaper and radio coverage, promotional video ads, and social media drives on platforms dedicated to the hashtag Justice for Animals cause. Claudia Reiter compiled this report.
Justice for Animals campaign was relaunched last Wednesday to address the injustices with regards to animal welfare and to urge the government to amend the existing Animal Protection Act. The campaign kicked off with a workshop focusing on the current legislation, case studies, and proposed new legislations, which was presented by Advocate Ronald Lewis. The Animal Protection Act dates back to 1962 and the Nature Conservation Ordinance dates back to 1975. The campaign will run for at least a year.
We initiated the Justice for Animals campaign together with the Ministry of Justice and the SPCA Namibia as strategic partners in 2019. The purpose of the Justice for Animals campaign is to promote and advance animal welfare legislation in Namibia, and specifically to advocate for animal law reform in Namibia. At the time, in 2019, the Act fell under the auspices of the Ministry of Justice, and then under leadership of the then Minister of Justice, Saki Shangala, the Animals Protection Bill was developed, but it was never tabled in Parliament. The Act, as I understand it, currently resides under the Ministry of Agriculture, who, before any legislative reform can commence, wants to draft a policy which will underpin the bill. The fact that the Animals Protection Act has not been reviewed, supplemented, or updated since 1962 led to such absurdities as the maximum penalty for a contravention of the Act in 2021 being a mere $200, irrespective of the severity of the offence committed. I'll let that sink in for a moment. The Global Animal Law Association, GAL, is a leading organization in the field of animal law. One of the projects of GAL is the Global Animal Law Friendly Index, which aims to record, analyze and compare the animal friendliness of 193 countries on a jurisprudentially unobjectionable basis. The index evaluates the status quo of animal welfare legislation on a national level in comparison to other jurisdictions. Unfortunately, according to the Global Animal Law Friendly Index, Namibia ranks just one level up from a country with no animal welfare legislation, on a scale of 8 possible levels. Animal welfare and animal rights differ based on one key aspect. Animal welfare is fact-driven. It's a fact-driven approach to our relationship with animals, whereas animal rights take a philosophical view. Animal rights means that animals are not ours to use for food, clothing, entertainment, or experimentation. Animal welfare, on the other hand, allows for these uses if humane guidelines are followed. As citizens of Namibia, we have constitutional rights to own and care for animals. These rights are underpinned by various articles of the Namibian Constitution, the Animals Protection Act, and the World Organization for Animal Health Treaty, to which Namibia is a signatory party. The guiding principles which inform the treaty include the 5 freedoms. And this is an important aspect that is often overlooked. As a member country, the 5 freedoms should infuse Namibia's legislative framework and policies. The 5 freedoms describe society's expectations for the conditions animals should experience when under human control, namely, freedom from hunger, malnutrition, and thirst. Freedom from fear and distress. Freedom from heat stress or physical discomfort. Freedom from pain, injury and disease. And lastly, freedom to express normal patterns of behavior. Every person who rescues a wild animal must obtain a transport permit from MUFT before transporting the animal to a facility, a vet, or any other wildlife rehabilitation centre. Animals in distress often require urgent and immediate assistance. This problem is further exacerbated by the fact that there is no expedited process to apply for a transport permit from MUFT, and delays occur when such a permit is in fact required on an urgent basis.
It doesn't matter whether it's a baboon, it's still an illegal act, and we need to control this because it's getting out of control. Because if we encourage people to start collecting animals because they think the animal is sick, we encourage them, we are going to cause an increase in pangolin trade.
Welcome back to Africa. Good morning. It's time for us to dive straight into your economic news stories. And we start off in Botswana as government fine-tunes plans for parastatal rationalization. Government will kick off measures to merge, chop or sell off some entities in its portfolio of 64 parastatals as figures emerge showing that nearly half of them were loss-making for the year ended March 2020. On Monday, Finance Minister Peggy Serame, who chairs a cabinet subcommittee on the parastatal rationalization, told Parliament the exercise was expected to kick off in the next financial year, which starts on 1 April 2022. Analysts told Businessweek that among the commercial parastatals, Serame's committee will be eyeing those with habitual loss-making positions and high levels of government subsidy support for full or partial privatization. Amongst the non-commercial, the subcommittee is reportedly focusing on overlapping mandates or those that have since become redundant or incongruent with government's new transformation agenda.
SADC Industrialization Week kicks off in Malawi to foster new opportunities for intra-Africa trade and investment in the region. The Southern African Development Community Secretariat, the Republic of Malawi, and the SADC Business Council is hosting the 5th annual SADC Industrialization Week from the 22nd to the 26th November 2021 in Lilongwe, Malawi. The SADC Industrialization Week is an annual public-private engagement platform to foster new opportunities for intra-African trade and investment. The theme for this year is bolstering productive capacities in the face of COVID-19 pandemic for inclusive, sustainable economic and industrial transformation. The SADC Industrialization Week format features keynote addresses from high-profile speakers on the wide range of themes and topic, panel discussion with industry experts and project owners, breakaway sessions of key topical concerns, exhibitions, and matchmaking for SMEs factory tours.
Now in South Africa, repo rate hike not good for consumers or the economy. Increasing the repo rate last week by 25 basis points to 3.75% might have been a good decision for the hawks on the Monetary Policy Committee of the Reserve Bank, who want to keep inflation in check. But economists and consumers say it was not a good decision for already over-indebted consumers and the weak economy. It was a split decision with 3 of the 5 members members voting for the increase. Consumers also have to get ready for more increases next year, said Tony Clark, Managing Director of the Rawson Property Group. The MPC has already expressed concern over the effects that Eskom's tariff hikes and unstable oil prices will have on inflation. If this rises too far above the inflation target midpoint of 4.5%, the SARB is very likely to increase interest rates. South African consumers have always had bad credit records and very little savings. The latest debt statistics available are for the second quarter this year, before the unrest in July and recent petrol price increase.
Take-A-Lot Group nears a break-even as revenue surges. Global Internet Group Nespa said it has delivered a strong financial performance for the 6 months ending September 2021, growing e-commerce revenues by 52% while continuing to make investments to further accelerate growth across its portfolio. E-commerce revenue growth accelerated up to 52% to 4.6 billion, while the group pointed to a figure of 5.2 billion invested since the 1st of April 2021. Core headline earnings per share grew 11% to 416 US cents, while the group reported a 9% increase in trading profit to 2.9 billion. The Take-A-Lot Group, comprising Takealot.com, Masterfood and Superbalist, continue to benefit from the shift to online, Nespa said. The group grew revenues by 36%, while trading losses decreased to a near break-even with a trading loss of 2 million.
That brings us to the end of our economic news stories. You know what comes up next? Economic indicators.
Win instant cash this spring with Top Score Instant. To enter, buy any new pack of Top Score Instant 1 kg or 500 grams from any store countrywide and stand a chance to win one of 2 grand prizes of $20,000 Namibian or one of 12 weekly prizes of $5,000 Namibian. SMS Instant to 24442. Competition ends 30 November 2021. T's and C's apply. Top Score Instant, a proud product of Namib Mills.
Welcome back to Africa Good Morning, and here are the news making headlines in sports. FIFA ranking: DRC gains 3 places worldwide. The Leopards of the Democratic Republic of Congo have gained places in the FIFA rankings after their performance in the last 2 qualifiers for Qatar 2022 World Cup. After winning 3-0 against the Tafia Stars of Tanzania in Dar es Salaam and then beating the Squirrels of Benin in Kinshasa 2-0, the Leopards moved up 3 places at the world level in the last FIFA ranking of the month made public on Friday. The DRC Leopards have moved to the 67th place in the world ranking and the moves to the 64th place. And in Africa, the DRC Leopards are now ranked number 12. Here are the top African top 10. First, Senegal, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Egypt, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and Ghana.
Don't worry, Namibia and Zimbabwe, you are top 10 in our hearts. Now, in the next story, we're talking about rugby. All Blacks coach Ian Foster under pressure after back-to-back defeats. New Zealand face some serious soul-searching with the focus on head coach Ian Foster after they were completely outplayed by France in Paris on Saturday to end their worst year since 2009. The 40-25 defeat left the All Blacks with a 12-3 win-loss record in 2021, while Graham Henry's side suffered a 14-4 season 12 years ago. For a remarkable 508 weeks until just before the start of the 2019 World Cup in Japan, the three-time world champions All Blacks dominated rugby as the top-ranked side in the world. But the fear factor they then possessed has been fading ever since. It was initially a 2-year appointment, but just after 12 months it was extended through to the 2023 World Cup in France. New Zealand rugby should have waited until after the Northern Tour when they could make the best possible assessment on whether to extend his contract, said veteran New Zealand Herald sports writer Chris Ratu.
In our next story, Uganda's Jacob Kiplimo breaks half marathon world record. Ugandan athlete Jacob Kiplimo broke the half marathon world record in Lisbon on Sunday with a time of 57 minutes and 31 seconds. The world half marathon champion Kiplimo won a Sunday's race by over 2 minutes and took 1 second off the previous world record 57:32, which was established by Kenya's Kibowat Kandi in Valencia last year. After scorching through 10 kilometers in 27:05, well clear of the rest of the field, Kiplimo passed through 15 kilometers in 40:27, the fastest time ever recorded for that distance.
Oh, we love to see it. Now, in the last of our sports stories, Rhea wins but Razgat Tlioglu seals WSBK title. Toprak Razgat Tlioglu secured the 2021 World Superbike title after finishing second behind former champion Jonathan Rhea in race 1 in Indonesia. Rhea has dominated the WSBK scene since 2015, often with much daylight between him and his closest rival. However, Razgat Tlioglu officially ended Rhea's reign on a thoroughly wet afternoon at the Mandalika Street Circuit on Sunday. "I don't know how I feel now," said Razgat Tlioglu post-race. "My dream this season was to become champion for my father. It's not possible for him to see because he died. But for me, it's a very special day. I was very scared because the front was sliding, and after I tried to come back again, but we are here. Incredible day for me." All right. Congratulations to you, sir. This is Still Africa. Good morning. After the break, your headlines.
Strike it gold and win 5,000 Namibian dollars in cash with Neo Paints. Simply buy Neo Paints products from the selected range and stand a chance to get one of 12 mystery buckets filled with gold paint. All 12 winners will each get 3 extra paint buckets equal to their purchase. One to replace the gold paint, the second to use on your project, and the third to give to a charity of their choice. One winner can score another 10,000 Namibian dollars by showing us your creative use of the golden paint. The best project wins the cash. Offer is valid from 27 September to 18 December at your favorite hardware store nationwide. Visit us at neopaints.com for more competition details and follow us on Facebook for weekly competition updates. Neo Paints, a coat of excellence.
Ubuntu Abantu. I am you, you are me, we take care of each other. That's why Africa Good Morning exists, to decentralize African news every morning from 7 a.m. Now, if you perhaps missed our top stories at the top of the hour, or if you need a recap, worry not, here are some of the headlines. 4 Southern African presidents commemorate with children. Ramaphosa, South Africa's rape, GBV, child murder stats are shameful. UNICEF needs over $55 million for Mozambique. Kama's warrant of arrest. Government fine-tunes plans for parastatal rationalization. FIFA ranking DRC gains 3 places worldwide. Those have been our stories.
We thank you very much for joining us on the Tuesday edition of Africa Good Morning. Please engage us on all our social media platforms. We are Africa Good Morning on Facebook and Twitter. We also have an email where we welcome your remarks regarding our show. You can email agm_2centsworth@nmh.com.na. Please visit our website. It's called One Up To, and there you can catch all NMH's shows. Please remember, we are in the middle of a pandemic. Play your part, get vaccinated, wear your mask, and avoid unnecessary public gatherings. And on that note, it's all my love, all my light. Happy Tuesday, and choose yourself.
Swera Shakanaka.